Are you frustrated with the performance of your business? Are you frustrated with the performance of your team? Are you even frustrated with the stress levels within your practice and your business? If you are, you're like so many other practitioners and business owners out there that they're frustrated. They know the pain point. They know that they're not happy with something, but they don't know how to get ahead. Like you, they're wondering like, how do I get out of this spot that I'm in? Well, I have two very simple strategies that you can implement within your team that will help you and help them, because if you help them, it's going to help you. But these two simple strategies are ones that I use with every client. I use with every one of them to help them get out of the spot they're in and get into a new place. And I will tell you, I love creating new problems. New problems like, we weren't busy before, but now we are and we don't know what to do with this. Or, we're super busy now, and now I have team members standing around. So with that said, my name is Kevin Johnson. I'm the CEO of Leverage Consulting, as well as the creator of Leverage U, an online university. So these two very simple strategies that I'm talking about, again, are ones that I use with every client, and they are there in a way to create a new environment for your team. Too many teams get conditioned to the way things have always been, the way things are right now, the way this team is. So the first strategy you have to do, and I'm going to talk about these two strategies, but then I'm going to talk about how do you actually implement these two things. So the first strategy is about, we have to have a common goal. And when I say we have to have a common goal, for example, right now when I'm recording this is the first week of June. And in the first week prior to this, even back in April, the beginning of April, I was already prepping clients for what are we going to do to ensure that you have the absolute best possible summer you've ever had. What is it that we're going to do? Because for some of you, it may be we don't have enough patients coming through here. We don't have enough volume coming in that allow us to reach the goals that we want to reach. Or we don't even have goals. So we fix that too. It could be that some of you are stressed out and we're running everywhere and maybe we're underproducing, but it's super chaotic. So we have to start out with a common goal that everyone gets behind. So as innocuous as it may sound, to have the best possible summer, the best summer this practice has ever had, what would it take? So when we have that common goal like that, we're involving them in change. So I would literally go around the room and I would ask everyone, what would it take for you? And for some, you might be shocked because when you get your team to start talking, they may start saying things that you're like, no problem, easy fix, done. And it's not even up for discussion. And they thought they were literally going to have to move mountains to make that thing happen. Whatever that complaint or that thing that wasn't making them happy, it could be literally a checkbox, done, no problem. We're gonna call the software trainer in and teach us all how to do that. It could be something that is big, but we need to articulate it. And it might be something, I've never heard this before. I don't work out front. I have no idea that this was a problem. It could be that there are things that everyone wants and you don't know. So when we start out in this way, we start asking them the question, what would it take for us to have the best possible summer for us ever, on record, in history? What would it take for us to have that? So we create a common goal, and sometimes it might be a numerical goal, where it's a production-based type goal, or it might be a procedure-based kind of goal, or maybe they have some other kind of mechanism or some other goal that they have. But we come up with something that is absolutely tangible. I have one client right now where, I have more than one client, but one client in particular where we're going through and we have a production goal, we have a procedure goal, and we have a number of goals or a goal for the number of reviews they're going to get. So we're building up to an annualized goal. Right now, my goal for them is that July is going to be a $4 million month. It's as a standalone, because their practice goes through peaks and valleys throughout the year, much like Christmas season and things like that. We're targeting a $4 million month in July, and we're building up to it right now. So what do we have to do to make that happen? So we're working on schedules. We're working on new patient phone calls. We're working on their treatment acceptance rate. We're working on all these things. So it's not that we're micro-focusing on any one of these things. We're focusing on this one thing, that we're going to have the best summer we've ever had. And in doing that, we then address things like the schedule, like scripting, like teamwork, and I could go on, but all these things are geared towards we're going to have the best possible summer. And when we do this, when we focus on the best possible summer, it's not just about the business. It's not just about the owner, the doctor. It's about the team. Because if we have the best summer we've ever had, they have fun at work. They enjoy going to work. And when they enjoy going to work, they stay. They bring their friends who are also similar and like-minded. And when you create that kind of environment, it shows up in your marketing, because you know when your team is not having a good day, it's not our best marketing. But when your team is having a good day and everybody's in hustle mode, everybody's in problem-solving mode, everyone is focused on the patients, guess what? Everyone has a good time. Not just the patients, not just your community, but your team is also having a really good day. And when you make that a system, you make that consistent, it's going to change the face of your practice. So that was just number one. The other thing that you need to do, which is you might think this is actually somewhat of a secondary or included in the first thing, but it's not. It needs to be a separate thing. And that you need to remind your team, we are all on the same team. And you know, if you've worked in a practice more than one day, you know there is this north versus south kind of thing. You know that there is the back versus the front and vice versa. And it's all because they work in separate areas of the office. They have different objectives. And let's face it, the clinical team has more quality time with the doctor. And when we have quality time with the doctor, we think we have a closer connection. And just because of proximity and the amount of time, most times doctors really don't have that same kind of connection with their administrative team. So with that said, you need to make sure that your team, so this is literally a goal, and this is not a one-time event. This has to become part of your practice culture. You need to change it to where they know we are all on the same team. So even when something really small, when someone verbalizes, well, so-and-so out front, and they might talk about something, they don't put notes in, or they screwed up our schedule, whatever it is. You might ask, did you go talk to them? It's something as small as that. You have to remind them, we're all on the same team. They're not working against you. They're not working against me. They're not working against the clinical team. And vice versa, that administrative team is going to say, why are they sending patients out front who have no idea what they just said yes to for a treatment plan? I could go on, and I'm sure as I'm talking about this, you're sitting there thinking, well, this happened the other day, this happened last week. Every practice has it going on every day, every week. So you have to change the culture. And how do you go about changing the culture? And this gets to that one thing that too many practices, I'm going to say avoid, and that is team meetings. There are practices that don't have morning meetings, and there are practices that don't have at least monthly meetings. And I've talked about Dr. G, one of my clients, many, many years ago, and this is when I saw this is when the light bulb went off for me, is when Dr. G fought me for the first 6 months I worked with him. And he would not have team meetings. He didn't have time for that. His practice was 7 days a week. He had, I think, 7 doctors, probably 20-some hygienists, and so on. And in that practice, they fought because he's like, I can't get all these people together. I can't do this. But he was coming up with all the reasons why not. Well, finally, I don't even remember at this point because it's probably 20 years ago. I don't remember at this point what compelled him to say, okay, fine, we're going to do this. And when they finally did it, literally in the next 6 months, they had 12 months worth of progress. They thought things that they thought could never happen, happened because they got everyone together. And they created a culture where everyone understood we are on the same team. It's not us against them. They're not doing things to make me angry. We are all on the same team. And you might even want to play this video for your team at one of your team meetings, or maybe when you kick off your next one. Play this and demonstrate and show this is the culture that we're going to change. This is the kind of thing we're going to create because we all work under the same roof. We have some common causes. And I visited a client recently, and it was like one of those things that it just made me feel awesome that I went in their staff lounge, and on the refrigerator, there was a printout. And the printout said, doctor runs on time, patients leave with a smile, and the team leaves with a smile every day. And it was so funny. Those 3 things, I gave that to them probably in 2018. And it was still on the refrigerator. It's still part of their practice culture. And when you take those 3 things, when you think about it for a minute, it demonstrates we are all on the same team. It's not us against them. We have common goals that are above all of us as an individual. It's about team. It's about other people, because you think about it, you have a service-based practice. And when you have a service-based practice, you serve others. So think about it for a minute. When we put everyone else before ourselves, we have a fantastic environment. It's our best marketing, and it will be the greatest sticky factor you have for the good employees that you want to keep. So again, if you want to change your practice, if you want to eliminate the stress in your practice, if you want to create productivity, if you want to increase the performance of your team, you need to implement the two things that I talked about. You need to ensure that you create a culture where they know we're all on the same team, and when we're all on the same team, then we make sure that, and we are focusing on together how we have the best summer we've ever had, and we can do it again next year. That's how winning teams do it. So my name is Kevin Johnson. I am the CEO of Leverage Consulting, as well as the creator of Leverage U and Online University. If you find content like this helpful for you, your team, your practice, hit like, hit subscribe, and make sure you stay tuned for the next episode, because I put out content just like this for you every week.